stop defending yourself. Stop it. Because the reality is this. People are going to be determined to see it how they see it. And in your mind, you think, well, I need to correct this incorrect information. I need them to see my side of the story. And you do not need them to see your side of the story because they will only see it through the lens in which they want to see it anyway. And when you constantly go through defending yourself, it does not demonstrate confidence. It does quite the opposite. So when you go constantly through the defend, you're wrong, see my side, it really highlights not only the insecurity, but it feeds their narrative. Because any way you spin it, if you defend too much, if you don't defend, they're going to see it very often as guilty, right? I don't care if you have proof. I don't care if you have visual proof. I don't care if you have it written out and signed by everybody on the planet that says this is how it went down. Person will be like, no. And so you have to be careful of that. Your ego wants you to have the last word. Your ego wants you to defend. Your confidence, your emotional maturity, your emotional intelligence says that's not about me. Because people, and it's the same thing with a smear campaign. Why are you stressing out about it? Because you're going to feed the narrative, right? So if you keep constantly defending, they're like, oh my God, you're way guilty. You're doing a little too much. Okay, you're not guilty. And then if you don't defend at all, they're like, oh, you got nothing to say? I knew I was right. Let them win the day. See, your ego doesn't want them to win the day. Win the day because you're going to win at life. You really are because you're protecting your peace. Now, you don't even have to have those people around you. And maybe if they are around you because they're a boss or maybe there's somebody you live with, keep them on the outer rim. Yep. Nope. Yes, sure. That's it. Okay, I'll do it. Like whatever it is, that's it. Don't try to make it make sense. Don't try to get them to see your perspective because I'm telling you, they have a viewpoint on which they're going to see it and it's not going to be through your lens. And with the smear campaign piece of it, you're going to go through the whole town now, the whole company and say, no, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That is never going to help you. Because again, it shows massive insecurity, massive lack of confidence. And they're just going to be like, okay, because here's the thing. If somebody believes what somebody is telling them about you and they don't know your side, they don't want to know your side, they don't want to see a different perspective, they're not your people anyway. Don't care. All right. It's kind of similar to if you have a friend, you have a couple different friends in a couple of different groups, right? And if this friend decides, I don't like this friend, we got into some beef, and then they want you to not like them because they don't like them, that's up to you to be like, wait, that's your stuff. That's not mine. That's emotional intelligence. Says, ooh, that what y'all got going on, I'm in Switzerland here. I got nothing. You don't always have to pick that side. You can pick yourself knowing, and you see this a lot with politics, right? Or even religions or anything else. People only want to see it from their perspective and they want to force it on you. That's fine. Have your perspective. Don't force it. The reason that happens is it creates dissonance, right? A person doesn't want to see a different perspective, doesn't want to have a different side. So you have to be careful because there's a lot that goes into play, just like defending yourself. So even if you defend yourself, and again, you have all this factual proof, if it remotely goes against the grain of what they're thinking, it's going to become a problem. Your ego. So the next time you find yourself needing to defend yourself, needing to over-explain yourself, that is your ego. Okay, I have an ego death series here on YouTube. Go to my playlists, look under ego death series. I think there's like 4 or 5 videos on there. Okay, it's going to be helpful because your ego is keeping you in this I need to win cycle. Think about this. If you know your truth, if you know your perspective and someone else sees it differently, ask yourself why that bothers you. Okay, seriously, ask yourself. Well, because I don't think it's true. No. We understand this. Why does it bother you? Why does it bother you? Is it because you are in this space of wanting to be right? Is it in a space of you will feel some kind of way if somebody thinks poorly of you? What is it? Because whatever that is, that's that deeper situation that you want to address, because your ego is highlighting that, right? When you feel the need to get the last word, when you worry about what other people think, when you go, oh my God, I don't want this person to think poorly of me, where is the underlier to that? Because confidence says, listen, I am me. And if you want to get to know me and you want to know my side, I am happy to explain it. But it's also important that you don't throw anybody else under the bus. You don't go, well, they're this and they're, If they come to you for your perspective. Don't start telling them that the other person's wrong. Don't start judging them. Say, oh, this is how I see things. And you're not going to have a lot of people who are going to gravitate towards that type of thinking. So while you think, well, I don't want to be without people, or what if I do this? Are you in a place of lack? Are you focusing on it from a place of lack? Do you worry about what you think that the family thinks? Why? Why? Because how you see yourself is the most important factor in your entire life. How they see you is irrelevant as to how you see yourself. Because if you see yourself through their lens, now we have a whole different issue. Okay? So I want you to ask yourself now, why does your ego feel like you need to be understood by everybody? Ask yourself that question. Why? Why do I get frustrated when other people believe these people and it's not true? Why? Because it's going to happen. And it's how you respond to it. So ask yourself those questions and you'll start digging deeper to the ego. You'll start digging deeper to your triggers. You'll start digging a lot deeper to the wounds that are still there, that you have not healed, that you still need to work on. Because remember, it's a process. And as your ego highlights things, or as your insecurity highlights things, that's a good thing. Don't be upset with it. Don't get mad at it. It's highlighting what you still need to work on. How could you hate that? Let it highlight it, but then lean into it. Be vulnerable with it. Because at the end of the day, people are only going to see it how they see it. If you know your truth and you know yourself, that's literally all that matters. And they're always going to see it from their perspective. And it is what it is. So when you start digging in on your ego, you're able to start taming it a little bit and walking hand in hand with it.